84 US cents, 82 euro cents and 66 pence sterling.
Well, for more on finance, we're joined by Rod North, Executive Director at Bourse Communications. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, you're saying the Australian market is marking time.
Yes, it's marking time at the moment because, of course, we've got those sort of issues about the Eurozone still coming back to haunt us and the Greece, needing a resolution. But in particular, obviously, the key thing is the US position and what's going to happen in January with that time frame between now and then insofar as that so-called fiscal cliff. So I think the market, of course, never likes uncertainty, and it sort of brings these things back into play. I suppose the market was very much distracted with the US election, and we've now got that resolution with Obama back in for another 4 years. But of course, then we saw Wall Street, take quite a spectacular drop.
It jumped off a little cliff.
It jumped off a little cliff back under 13,000, which of course, was a very high point for the market to get to. But to
and
come
Australia
back
didn't really do the same last week.
No, the Australian market sort of really marking time a bit. Sort of, there's still obviously a lot of AGMs and things happening at the moment, results coming out which have been a bit mixed. So I think our market is probably looking for direction, but I can't see a lot happening until we see what will happen, particularly with that sort of major US position, that fiscal cliff, and that those trillions of dollars that need to be supported are going to be pretty pivotal in the whole thing for financial markets over the next few months.
What do the latest home loan numbers show?
Latest home loan numbers were quite positive, showed an increase of 0.9% for September, but the previous month was 1.8%. So I think one of the things that we're looking at there is, with those decreases in the cash rate by the RBA, what is that actually doing in helping prime the home loan market? And we are seeing that there's quite a bit of activity happening there, and I think a lot of refinancing and so forth is going on. So I suppose these figures were for September, so they haven't actually taken in that last 25 basis points decrease. So it'll be sort of the October and November numbers that I think will be interesting just to see on the home loan front. But we have seen clearance rates for auctions around the country back over 60%. So it seems as if people are sort of gradually, getting back into the property market, which I think is a good sign.
Will you be very surprised if the RBA doesn't cut rates next month?
Yes, I will be, because I really do think that the market is looking for that, and I think particularly, to get people to spend, particularly on the retail side. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see a cut in December of another 25 basis points, and then I think that's probably going to be the last cut we'll see for some time.
Now, what's happening with NAB and a big bonus payment? Yes,
well, this is quite a controversial thing because, of course, a lot of companies are looking at remuneration for executives, and in the case of Cameron Clyne, the NAB CEO, it's going to be decided in December at their AGM whether he will get a bonus of up to $4 million for short and long-term incentives. But I think the most interesting thing was the comment by the bank, which basically said, and this is generally given in the form of securities and in shares and rights and so forth. The interesting thing is the comment by the bank was, well, if it's not approved by shareholders at the meeting, there will still be a cash bonus. And I think the market sort of said, well, hang on a minute, how can that possibly be right? It's sort of heads you win, tails you win. It doesn't sort of work that way. So I think the jury's going to be a bit out, and I think there'll be a fair bit of comment over the next few days about that.
And that's particularly controversial because of the NAB result.
And particularly controversial because, of course, NAB reported a drop of 22% in their full-year profit. They still made over $4 billion, I might add, but these things are obviously needed to be, tabled and considered, very closely by the financial markets, and obviously shareholders will be, particularly NAB shareholders, will be watching that one very closely over the next, few weeks.
And is the market expected to continue to mark time?
I think it will mark time today, but it may slightly go into the black because we did see Wall Street up a little bit last night. So we may actually see a bit of black on our pages on the Australian market today, which will be a good thing.
Rod North, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, 2 former New South Wales premiers will give evidence at a corruption inquiry.